Legoland, Disneyland, and other theme parks say they're ready to open, but new state rules could leave them shut down for months. Why they believe the governor's guidance is unfair and will have a high human toll.
An Army veteran jumps into action to save a stranger. How his instincts kicked in as he threw himself into danger.
And the pandemic is making it much harder for high school athletes to achieve their dream of playing in college. Their new way of standing out when there are no recruiters coming to watch them.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
Rules Southern California theme parks have been waiting for, and now they're calling it unfair. Leaders from Disneyland, Universal Studios, and Legoland are responding to the state's new guidance on reopening. They say the rules could keep them closed for months. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Our ABC 10 News reporter John Horn shows why the heads of those major theme parks say they can keep their visitors safe.
Theme park operators across Southern California are usually competing with each other for your dollars. But on Wednesday, the leaders at Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, Universal Studios, and Legoland all teamed up to send the governor a message. Legoland President Kurt Stock says the governor's new guidelines keeping Legoland shut just don't make sense, especially since stadiums, indoor malls, and card rooms can open sooner.
Theme parks create a 100% controlled environment with temperature checks for all guests, mask enforcement, increased sanitization protocols, social distancing, measures that far exceed most daily life experiences and any other leisure activities.
Stocks addressed the media Wednesday with executives from Disneyland, Universal Studios, and Knott's with the California Attractions and Parks Association. They pointed to success in other states, the New York Times recently reporting that Disney World's safety protocols appear to be working. They were pushing back against new guidelines that block larger theme parks from reopening with 25% capacity until counties reach the state's least restrictive tier. San Diego and Orange counties are 2 tiers away, while Los Angeles is still in the state's most restrictive tier.
Because it then begins to have an impact on people's health. Anxiety and joblessness is a gigantic human toll on individuals.
The governor's office is concerned that major theme parks attract out-of-towners. The theme park group says nothing is off the table, including potential legal action. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
Those theme parks with capacity fewer than 15,000 could open in the next tier at 25% capacity.
San Diego County was just 2 COVID cases from falling back into the state's most restrictive reopening tier. That was the word from Dr. Wooten today. County leaders reiterated their message for people to not let their guard down. And with less than 2 weeks until Election Day, the county is reminding anyone who plans to vote in person they must follow all the guidelines and be patient.
Let me just say the election is November 3rd. I do not want to be standing here with Dr. Wooten 14 days later talking about Election Day as a statistic. And so for all voters that are out there, please keep yourself safe and healthy and vote that mail ballot and return it back to our office.
The county's health equity metric, which grades how it's helping underserved communities, is slowly improving. Some good news today. Here are the latest numbers for San Diego County. 263 new cases reported today, bringing the total to more than 53,000. 6 more people died. 863 San Diegans have now lost their lives to COVID-19.
Investigators with the DEA found a secondary pot grow today while investigating an illegal marijuana grow in Rancho Penasquinos. ABC 10 News broke this story exclusively at 6 o'clock last night. More than 2,000 plants were found near a popular trail in the Del Mar Mesa Preserve. The DEA says that they found another 50 plants while investigating today. Neighbors say one of their big concerns with the grow is the potential for fire danger.
If a spark goes up from the camp, this whole cul-de-sac is gone. Because I don't know. I always watch during fire season. I always watch to see if there's smoke in the front or the back, because I have open area in the back too.
That DEA says it has not yet found anyone responsible for that illegal operation.
A Chula Vista police officer is hurt after a 3-car crash. An ABC 10 News viewer sent us this video moments after the crash on 4th Street. A department spokesperson tells us the officer was headed south when a woman in a white van pulled out in front of him. They collided. The squad car ricocheted into a 3rd car. Each vehicle took significant damage. Only the officer needed to go to the hospital. We are told his injuries are minor.
Just throws me back to the ground and starts trying to stab me as hard and as often as he can, and ends up getting me right in the head.
That's a Good Samaritan, and he is sharing his story after he tried to stop a brutal assault on a train platform at Oceanside. ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chen reveals how that man's Army instincts took over. We do also want to warn you, some of the images in this story may be difficult to watch.
Just before 9:30 Monday morning on the Amtrak platform at the Oceanside Transit Center, Andrew Reinecke is waiting for a train to Pasadena for a culinary school class.
I had my head down, looking at my book, looking at my notes.
Out of the corner of his eye, he sees a man walk by with a roller bag. A few moments later,
Guy rushed up and jumped on top of him and just started wailing on him.
Reinecke says the attacker was stabbing the other man with some sort of tool. Reinecke, a disabled Army veteran dealing with shoulder injuries,
You don't choose to necessarily, you just do.
quickly jumped into the fray.
You see somebody who needs defending and you defend them.
Reinecke climbed onto the attacker. As the other man managed to get away, a flurry of punches from the attacker.
Punching me in the side, in the ribs, and in the face. I used my thumb, put it into the attacker's right eye, and that got him off of me. And that's when he pulled out the 2 to 3 inch knife.
Reinecke doesn't remember feeling any fear
I think it was adrenaline because I didn't feel any pain.
as he tried to fight off the attacker.
Just throws me back to the ground and starts trying to stab me as hard and as often as he can, and ends up getting me right in the head.
Reinecke says his memory gets a little fuzzy, but remembers the man eventually walking off. Police arresting him soon after. A bystander took this photo of Reinecke, who suffered a stab wound in his head, a brain bleed, bruised ribs, and a black eye. In online posts about the incident, some describing him as a hero.
No, just someone who loves his family and loves his community and wants to see this world to be a better place.
Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
And a friend of the initial victim posted that the man suffered a stab wound on his neck that barely missed his jugular. The motive for the attack is still unknown. Police say the suspect had been wanted on several charges out of L.A., including assault with a deadly weapon.
Wow, a true Good Samaritan. And California is going to court to force the state Republican Party to change its use of unofficial ballot drop boxes. The controversy erupted 2 weeks ago when these boxes began popping up at Republican Party offices and other locations. Some were labeled official drop boxes. The GOP says it ordered the word official to be removed, but the boxes themselves are legal. But the state attorney general says they're not because no one's watching them at all times, and voters are not signing the ballots over for delivery. Today, the AG's office filed papers in court to force the GOP to cooperate. The final presidential debate takes place tomorrow, and you can watch it right here. Coverage starts with ABC 10 News at 4 o'clock, followed by World News tonight and the 2020 election special. The debate is at 6 o'clock, and then stay tuned for a special edition of ABC 10 News. You can also watch the debate on the ABC 10 News website, Facebook page, and our mobile app.
The family of a man who was shot and killed while trying to escape from sheriff's deputies is now suing over his death. Nicholas Bills was arrested back in May for threatening a park ranger in Old Town with a golf club. When they arrived at the downtown jail, Bills managed to get free and start running. Deputy Aaron Russell shot Bills multiple times. Prosecutors have charged Russell with his murder. He's pleaded not guilty. ABC 10 News obtained the new lawsuit filed just yesterday. The family is suing Russell and the county for wrongful death.
A teacher who admitted having sex with a student won't serve any more jail time. Today, Jonathan Sammartino was sentenced, and we reported on his arrest in 2018 after a 5-month sexual relationship with a 17-year-old student at La Jolla Country Day School. Because of Sammartino's acceptance and remorse over his actions, the judge sentenced him to time served, probation, and community service. He will not have to register as a sex offender.
A former higher-up at the San Diego Zoo is headed to prison for a large fraud scheme. Matthew Anderson worked at the zoo for 17 years, rising to become director of behavioral biology. He now admits bilking the zoo for more than $200,000. He would turn in fake invoices from made-up vendors he controlled. Anderson would then pocket the money when the zoo paid the bill. The judge sentenced him to 6 months in prison. Anderson has since paid the zoo back.
Environmental groups are now suing to stop a controversial housing development in the East County. After decades of planning and battles, Santee's City Council approved Fanita Ranch last month. It would add nearly 3,000 homes along with a school, parks, and open space. Today, environmental groups filed a lawsuit saying that the project puts endangered species at risk. In a separate effort, a group of Santee residents is gathering signatures to try to force a public vote on the project.